One thing I've always wondered, I really have wondered, just how different is it? The French school system, the English school system in this province. I always said, if you could really compare experiences, what would you end up with? Well, our next guest is Christina Buono. She's got two children. One of them is 14 with a minor intellectual disability in the French public school system. He's been without a teacher since the beginning of the school year, going from one substitute teacher to another. And since the strikes began on that side, November 21st, he's been off indefinitely. Now, her daughter is in grade 11 in the English school system. An important year, of course, grade 11, right? As students prepare for getting into CEGEP, make those applications to CEGEPs, all of that is well underway. And that process has been severely disrupted by ongoing strikes. She says that having a child in each system has shown her just how vastly different the strikes have been impacting and just how different those systems are. It's our pleasure to welcome Christina Buono onto the program. Christina, welcome to the show.
Hi, thank you, Elias. I'm happy to be here.
So let's talk about your children. First things first. Tell our listeners about your children and how they ended up in different schools, different school systems.
So in essence, my son with his special needs needed a special program, and of course, our French system is much more adapted to offering services for special needs kids than our English school board. My daughter was also previously in private school, and I've transitioned her over to the public school system just last year.
Uh-huh.
What is actually different with the systems is, from a private perspective, they do shelter more the kids than the public system.
Mm-hmm.
The public system, kids need to figure it out on their own. French, my son is now in indefinite strike. So last time he was actually in school was November 21st.
Jeez.
And my daughter in English, they are planning another strike December 8th to December 14th.
That's right. And that would, if that strike does go ahead, that would lead to another 5 days being lost. I know there's a whole bunch of discussions on how to deal with that, the impact on the school year. Can I ask you, Christina, because I am interested to what you said, how you transitioned your daughter from the private school system and went to public school. Tell me about that decision. Why did you make the decision to leave private school and head to the English public school system?
I actually found that the private school system is not adapted to the reality when you hit the working environment and the working market. I found that there was a difference in how respect should be shown both ways between the students and the teachers, and not only unilateral.
Uh-huh.
And basically, I wasn't a fan of the school, and nor was my daughter, so it wasn't adapted for her needs.
Gotcha. Okay, so let's take a look at how the strikes are affecting your children. I would imagine your son, no school since the 21st. It's garden. It must be difficult. Why don't you tell us about that and how things are being dealt with on the French side?
Well, in essence, he has no school, and funny, I received email yesterday from the school asking myself as a parent to ensure that I keep the school routine, that I offer my child activities, and that I do activities as if I was his teacher while they are on strike, whereas I do work full-time.
Yeah.
So that is something that is impossible to do. So how will he fall behind? Already being that he's in a special needs class, he already needs extra support. So how is it going to impact him going forward? And let's not forget that these are also kids who went through COVID. So they were already out of school for a very long period of time. So there's already a fall behind there. So these kids are the ones that are suffering. Yeah,
and I wanted to ask you about that. I'm glad you brought it up. Right, we went through that period. I know Quebec was much better than a lot of other places in North America, but we went through a time where students lost a tremendous amount of time in the classroom. So with what's happening right now with the strikes, how much of it is like here we go again, and what about it this time is different than the last?
I don't think it's actually different. In all honesty, in my experience with my children, when I look at it, if I look at high school years, my daughter basically would have gone through 40% of high school years in out of class, out of classroom, out of a normal setting of a classroom, the normal experience that comes with it. So what will be the future impact on these actual children? How far behind are they going to be if we don't adapt our school system for the reality that these kids are facing?
We're with Christina Buono, who is a mother of two, and her children are in different school systems. One's on the French side, one is on the English side. Christina, I know there are differences, obviously, with the unions, and that's why the strike days have been different. So putting that aside, the strike days are different. How would you rate or describe how each system has handled this situation? Who would you give, to use the school pun, better grades?
The English school board.
Oh, really?
Because the French school board, I was even advised that they were on unlimited strike. Mm-hmm. So if I'm not someone that listens to the news, I had actually no idea. So I actually sent my son to school on Monday this week.
Wow.
I sent him to school on Monday. He went to the bus stop. Yep. He waited at the bus stop. There was no bus that showed up, and he came back home. So not advising parents of what is going on, I think is not the right method to use. It is not the right approach. And I'm fortunate where I can actually work from home. Mm-hmm. What about all those parents who can't work from home, who actually have to physically be at work? There are impacts for them as well. What about parents who have kids that are younger? I mean, my kids are teens. I can leave them at home alone. But parents who have kids that are in elementary school, what are they supposed to do? So globally, there's impacts everywhere.
Christina, before I have to let you go, is there anything that we didn't touch upon that you wanted to, a message that you wanted to get out this morning?
One of the messages that I did want to get out is I understand why the teachers are doing what they're doing. I believe that the government needs to sit at the table and have a serious discussion, because at the end of the day, it's our kids that are being impacted. And when you look at it, nurses also are on strike as well. So nurses and teachers are supposed to be keeping our population healthy and educated, and they're among the least paid in the province and in the country. So does that really make sense if they're supposed to be the ones that are taking care of us and building our future?
Christina, I want to thank you for your perspective this morning. It's greatly appreciated.
Thank you.
That is, you too, Christina. That's Christina Buono, mother of two. When we return on the Elias Macko Show, do you know how much a flight attendant makes? We're going to speak to the president of one of the big flight attendant unions in this country. They're threatening a strike, and we'll find out just how much flight attendants are paid. I was floored when I found out this information earlier this morning. That's coming up next on In Transit.